This is Athena Jezik, and we're going to do a little foot massage right now. So I'm going to add some, or I'm going to apply some lotion. I'm using lotion and not oil. This is the same lotion that I was using on the face. Sometimes you can use a thicker kind of a thing on the foot, but her feet are in really good shape. Apparently she takes good care of them. There's not a lot of calluses on them, and feels like she's been pedicured. And so the oil can be lighter. There's some people like myself who go barefoot all the time, and there's different issues with the feet when that happens. So I just apply the lotion or oil, and starting down at the bottom of the foot. You know, there's so many different ways you can go about it, so sometimes I start different than others, and you know, days when I have a number of people to do, I have to change it a little bit just for my own sake of not getting too routined with things. And here, so I'm feeling like this foot is a good one to start with, down into the soft part of the center of the foot, the arch, and along the ridge of the foot, along the fifth tarsal and metatarsal area. And then just go up each of the tarsal, metatarsal bones, moving inward to the arch. I use a thumb press on that one. Heel, rotating around the heel, edge of the heel. It's a little different to work on the foot when it's face up or face down, just because of the angle of the hands. Rotating, moving the toes around a little bit, massaging underneath them. What you want to do in a foot massage is really be real thorough and getting between the toes. Now sometimes it's kind of fun to, if a foot's very pliable, to take your fingers and actually put them between the toes and kind of stretch them that way. Other one. There we go. Get your fingers between the toes and kind of work it in like this. And give them a little stretch on their toes and bend them backwards and forwards. That's a nice, fun little thing to do. Feels good. And then on the top of the foot, working along the top of the foot. Again, along each of the bones. It's kind of, you're going between the bones. You're not on the bone itself, but you're using the bones as a guide to get your hands in between. You don't want to ever, well, you know, you do work on top of bones, but you're very careful when you do work on top of bones, and usually it's where there's attachments. So there's not any real one rule that will always apply to every part of the body. But basically, you don't want to work on top of a bone. Of course, when you're massaging the forehead, you got to be on a bone there. So there's exceptions. And then around this structure, and check for range of motion. It's real important for the feet to stay real pliable. So you want to work them in all the directions that they can go. They are meant to walk on uneven surfaces, and it is important to keep each of these little bones well within their range of motion. It's not good to have real stiff feet when you start walking and get real stiff-footed, because it affects how the rest of your posture is going to be and how you're going to ache, because we should be also walking and moving with a lot of fluidity and spring and ease. When you start to work a lot of people's feet, you can take note of the amazing similarities and the amazing differences. It's like humanity is so much the same in so many ways and so different in so many ways. The uniqueness is there. And for me, an appreciation of people in general, just, you know, getting a close look at, you know, what body type and issues they have in the body that they have. And I oftentimes see it as just a vehicle for the real essence of the person, which is their spirit and emotions and everything else housed in this body, it becomes a little bit different to look at things. And I respect so much what the body can do. Its properties for healing, it can do so much. And then I look at how society has become detached, and we don't have much somato-awareness. We don't have a lot of body awareness anymore. It's just treat our bodies as if they shouldn't, let us down. And then when we suffer with a lot of pain, which a lot of people do as they get older, it's such a great teacher for things, but it's also not fun to have a life that you can't enjoy because of the abuses that we've done with our body. And I'm hoping for the day that we begin to take care of ourselves before it breaks and understand that there's no quick fix to this stuff. And if we think there is, we're just going to be setting ourselves up for a lot more problems farther down the road. And I'm just doing the same thing on this foot, basically. Maybe running it a little bit different, but covering the same areas with the same type of intention. And I know some of you may not like to hear, or you make comments that they feel like it's my opinion and I'm preaching and whatever, but it's about time that we do take a good look at how our medical system is happening. I mean, for me to look around and hear the mainstream that we have the best medical care in the world, and then look around and see these huge hospitals that house sick people, and to see the kind of things that go on with people who aren't hospitalized, and to look at them and see such bad health in our population, there's got to be something wrong with that picture. So it's a matter of looking around and asking yourself, well, what is so good about what's going on in our medical system? We have great diagnostics. We can find out things that are wrong, but are we really helping people with diseases? Or are we making them worse by the way that we treat them? And if you want to go into the political avenues and start to look at that objectively and without a lot of emotion, you're going to find out that it is a business and that we are being used for profit, and that it's important that we stay sick because that's where the profit is. When I help somebody get rid of migraine headaches and they don't need to come back in, sure, it impacts my income flow, but my point is to get them to a point where they don't need to come in, because my idea is when society and my community is feeling better, then I'm winning because I have a society that's healthy. So perhaps it's time in 2012 to begin to re-examine some of the things we've been told to take for granted, that this is just the way it is, and begin to question it, begin to use our reasoning capacity, and maybe restructure some things within ourselves and share those things with the people around us so that we can have a system in place that is going to move people into real healing, real health, and untie them from the need for medications and more tests, and just take the tether away from the need for being attached to the medical system, because your body can be well, it can be healed, it can be whole, and there's very few diseases that can't be affected in a positive way through good nutrition, just regular care, and preventing things from happening from preeminent behavior. Okay, I can just rub feet all day long. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And I think there's a little bell up there that you can hit that you'll get a notification every time we post. So if you want to, you can hit that too. But thank you so much for your support.
I really appreciate it.